Come on, folks.
Oh boy. Okay, whatever. Let's go to work, guys.
We'd like to call this commission regular session to order. Roll call.
Dominic, Johnson, Williams, Lynn,
Here.
Bowman,
Present.
Baker,
Here.
Lynch, Escaday, Thibodeau, Cox, Smith, Epperson.
Yeah.
We have a quorum, Madam President.
Thank you. Please stand for prayer by Commissioner Williams and the pledge by Commissioner Lynn.
Let's stand, Father head. Father, in the name of Jesus, we come right now, humble as we know how, God. We thank you for the years of our colleague, our parish attorney. Appreciate all the work and dedication and commitment he's made to public service and life. Bless his family, and to continue to walk the path in life that we would remember all the work he's done. Let us do things decent and in order up here, Lord. Let us all be on one accord. Help us agree but not be disagreeable all the time, but learn to work together for what is best for the citizens of this parish and this city and this nation. Yes. We ask it all in your son Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Everyone please face the flag and say the Pledge of Allegiance along with me. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I felt the spirit.
Thank you, sir.
He's getting there. He's off a little bit.
I think the anointing is coming on.
The anointing is. I receive it.
Are there any agenda additions?
No.
There being no agenda additions, we move to citizen comments.
I have one card. You have any?
I have no cards.
Tracy Jackson.
Good afternoon. My name is Tracy Jackson, and I'm representing Power Counseling Services, which is an acronym for the Promotion of World Empowerment and Recovery. All you have to do is look at the news every day to see that there are people with mental health issues within the United States. Power Counseling Services is doing its part to provide low-income families mental behavioral health care services. Ms. Brenda Scott is passing out packets that have information on my company. I'm here to request assistance for our first year of business. We are a 501(c)(3) company. We provide drug education, assessments, EAP, mental health, any type of mental health problems. I'm a licensed professional counselor, and I have a partner, Robert Boyd, who was the clinical director for Northwest Regional Center for Addictive Disorders for about 20 years. We provide a sliding fee scale for our clients, and I am requesting $55,000 to assist our organization to develop and build a capacity for the first year to assist with salary for personnel and staff, to assist with equipment for drug screening, to assist with equipment for faxes, telephones, anything we may need, and to assist with rent for a half a year. I'm so nervous. You can't tell. This is a lot of money, but if you're starting a business, if any of you know about that, you know that there's a lot of finances that are entailed in the process. As a 501(c)(3) corporation, we don't have a lot of money because we're not requesting a lot from our clients as it is on a sliding fee scale for the clients. We're here to help the community. We have a bilingual facility. It's in helping incorporate with the Hispanic community. I have a counselor for that. I'm also trying to reestablish counseling services that were for domestic violence, rape, and childhood sexual abuse, which was relatively halted upon the close of the YWCA. We also provide, I already said, EAP counseling for anyone interested in contracting. And this is a community project. This is something that our community needs because in Shreveport alone, there is 38.8% of people that are at the poverty level. And we know that poverty leads to crime, which leads to substance abuse, leads to poor childhood grades in school. And per capita income in both cities is less than $24,000 a year and growing. So we need an additional mental health facility in this Shreveport-Bossier area. Are there any questions?
I can't ask you any questions, but thank you so very much for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks for telling me.
Next item, Mr. Clerk.
We have no visitors. Next, special resolutions. I don't think Ms. Williams was able to come today. We'll move on and go to communiques and committee reports.
Okay. Communications and committee reports.
I'd just like to announce that we are in the process now of getting ads for our Veterans Celebration Week, which will culminate on Sunday, November the 10th, 2013 at 2:00 p.m. with a parade and honor ceremony for all of our active military and our veterans in the area. I'll be passing out informational sheets and asking each commissioner to see what they can do to help us out with our ads. Also, the next meeting for the Veterans Week Celebration Committee will be September the 6th on a Friday at 10:00 a.m. in the large meeting room at the Commission Chamber. I'd like to announce a couple of businesses that are opening up in Caddo Parish Commission District 12. One is a venue called the Regal. They'll do banquets, meetings, and conference meetings in a center at 7288 Greenwood Road, Suite 125. That's in the old sports Bayou Sports Mall building that's in West Shreveport off Greenwood Road. You know, we use that for a shelter. That has been acquired by a gentleman, and he's refurbished that, and I went out and looked over it, and it's turned out to be a beautiful facility. So we would ask you all to patronize that. Also, we have another called Kids Fantasy that will be opening up. I have a phone number for that. I didn't get the address, but I can get that to you. They'll be giving parties for children, have a spa for little girls, face painting, all of these things and games, and they'll also be keeping children, say, after hours and Saturdays off and things of this nature for families while they keep them there, while the families go out and shop or do some businesses. They'll be tutoring and doing things, and it is a for-profit venture. There's also a permanent branch of Bank Co-op South that's located on Pines Road. They are moving from a temporary facility to a beautiful permanent facility, and we're glad to see that. So we're doing all that we can to make sure that West Shreveport and West Caddo Parish moves up economically. That's all I have.
Thank you. We don't have a president's report today, so I will yield my president's report time to our administrator.
Thank you, President Baker. Commissioners, good afternoon. We'd like to introduce a new addition to our team. And Ms. Frazier just went upstairs to pick something up of importance, so Mr. Grubb is going to do it. And at this time, Mr. Grubb, would you be so kind to introduce Mr. Burns?
Commissioners, I wish Donna had been here to introduce Henry Bernstein to you, who's standing here with me. I've known Henry for many, many years, and I'm pleased to say that Donna has has selected Henry to be the new assistant parish attorney. Henry, I got to know Henry when he and I worked together in the city attorney's office, many, many years ago, and Henry has maintained his feet in public law ever since then. He shares office space. He's closing down his private practice, but he shares office space with Patrick Jackson, who, as y'all know, is a very fine parish attorney in Bossier Parish. And he has done some work for Bossier Parish, but Henry's also worked for the Attorney General's office. He's worked in state government in the oh yeah, so we won't need more Attorney General's opinion. Is that what we got now? We got to walk an Attorney General's opinion. That's right.
Here we go again.
We selected Henry purely and simply because of Mr. Commissioner Williams.
Maybe you have an inroad now, Commissioner.
But he's he's worked in the Lieutenant Governor's office. He's got a great deal of experience in public law. We had a great applicant pool that we interviewed, and Donna made the final selection of Henry. And I wish she was here to introduce him because she's as enthusiastic about him as I am. But I just wanted y'all to meet him, and he's looking forward to working with you, as he may want to say.
I do. I look forward to it. I've always enjoyed my times when I've been in public service, whether with the city of Shreveport or the state. And so I'm really looking forward to working with each and every one of you all and making this parish a better place to live.
You live in Bowie?
Yes. South Shreveport.
That's a good thing.
Thank you, Branch, appreciate it.
Hey, somebody
Welcome to the team.
Thank you.
Sorry, William. All right.
One last thing. Madam President, that's one to let you all know. Also, this morning, we had a public hearing on the LCBG process. We have 4 applicants. They'll be coming before you on your first work session in September. Sewer District 7, District 2, the Four Forks Water System, and the Wells Island projects are the 4 projects.
Good job.
Comcast. Do you have Comcast here?
This was supposed to be here.
Yeah, they are.
Yes, ma'am. You want them to come up now, ma'am? Okay. And also
Green just went off.
Comcast is getting Ms. Francis.
Smith.
Okay.
Ms. Francis Smith.
All right, Ms. Francis Smith is here from Comcast, Commissioners.
Good afternoon. I brought a guest with me today. I want all of you to meet Andy Mackey. He is my boss out of Atlanta, Georgia. He is our Vice President of Government Affairs, and he got in yesterday afternoon. We've spent some time riding around Shreveport and talking with people and meeting with various community groups and officials, and he wanted to be with me today at the meeting, and will certainly be part, of the information that I give you today. I wanted to come before you today and just kind of give you an update of how things are going with the upgrades and improvements we've been making with the system. We talk a lot and have in prior meetings about numbers and taps and wires in the field. But I want to introduce today, first of all, the human element to it. I don't think we've ever really let you know and told you about our employment. We have about 108 employees here. We have hired 15 new people in 2013. We also use a local contractor who has about the same number of employees. So we're providing employment to over 200 people in the Shreveport area. Our payroll at the office is about 1.5 million. So that is certainly something that we think and hope is important to the Caddo Parish and Shreveport area. I want to tell you a little bit about the investments that we've made in the system and some of the improvement we're seeing in the numbers. I want to preface that with saying we're continuing the work day by day, staying focused. Is everybody happy yet? No. But we're working on that, and based on some of these numbers, we know we're at least going in the right direction. So I do want to focus on some of the positive things that are going on right now. First of all, as far as the investment in the system, I know that had been a concern in past years that you didn't really feel like that money was being put into the system. In 2012, we invested about $4.7 million
in the system here, and that's, you know, in the field and replacements in the new generators that we've gotten at the system, switching from AC power to DC, which we'll talk about a little bit more. We're on track to spend about the same amount of money this year. So we are definitely putting our resources in Shreveport. A couple of years ago, when the South area and the team that's working with Shreveport now took over Shreveport, we came in and found that there was a huge backlog on the maintenance. I mean, y'all are government, you understand you've got to do maintenance on public works, you've got to do maintenance on your streets and that kind of thing, or it gets away from you. Same thing with cable. You have squirrel chews on the lines, you have nicks from people doing gardening or trees rubbing again. There are all kinds of things that can affect the lines out there, and we had kind of gotten behind in maintenance. We are now caught up on the maintenance, and we're back in kind of a regular schedule where we can work through and do maintenance on a regular basis. We have actually replaced 526 spans of cable that are, you know, out there in the field, and those again are things from squirrels chewing on the lines, backhoes when people are cleaning out ditches or doing whatever, just any number of things that can happen out there in the field. So that is an extremely important thing to add to the reliability of the system, and we are continuing with the tap replacement project that we've talked about before. We have converted from AC power to DC power, and the benefit for that is it's a much more stable environment for power. A lot more reliability there. We've installed 3 backup generators, and we all think of generators as the little box that you put on the side of your house when the power goes out. These are probably about the size of that sign that says Parish of Caddo. I mean, these are huge, huge generators, and that's really going to improve the reliability of the system in storms in the event of power outages or things like that. Now, the results of these investments, we're seeing the numbers improve. Some of the things that we have looked at recently, there's a process where service calls that are referred to maintenance. For instance, we come out to your house to fix your cable service and find it's not really the line to your home, but something that's out on the main cable lines or whatever. That is a refer to maintenance that is required to really make the signal better. Those refer to maintenance calls have been reduced by 66% just from May and June. When we look at our May and June numbers and then go to August, there's been a 66% decrease. It's been steadily coming down, but that is just huge. So that tells us we're really going in the right direction. Outages have been reduced by 61% over July and 66% from June. If you remember, there were some pretty severe storms that came through here in June and July, so the numbers were, of course, up a little bit there, but we're really pleased. And part of the reason those outages have been reduced is because of the maintenance on the lines and because of the backup power and the generators and the things that we have done to stabilize the system. Pending trouble call average, meaning we come into the office, how many trouble calls do we have in queue? In January, it was as high as 600. It's now down to about 350, which is manageable and fairly normal. So that means we're getting fewer calls, but it also means we can respond faster. Instead of taking 5 days to respond, the average is about 3. Training of the employees, which had been a concern before, that somebody came to the house and didn't actually fix the problem. We have increased the training to the point that it's lowered our need for a service call after an installation to about 7.5%, which means 92% of the time we're installing it, getting it right the first time, no problems with the installation, no need for a follow-up repair call. We're still working on that number, but that is a huge improvement. Overall, service calls in this area have dropped by over 4,600 in the last year. So again, that tells us fewer people are having problems. We're getting fewer calls, which is the reason for the less backlog. We also have a system in place called Voice of the Customer. We have it both when you call in. Somebody will say, would you mind doing a quick survey after your call, and you tell them how you were served by that rep. We also do that with the technicians, and we've been tracking that, and in the month of August we got a 95% positive score on the technicians in the Shreveport Caddo Parish area. So we know that when the tech goes to the house, that the customer is now much more pleased with the service that they're receiving from that customer. Quickly want to mention a couple of things, new things that are coming to Shreveport that we're able to do because of these investments and these improvements. One of the things we have introduced are what we call Wi-Fi hotspots. As we install businesses with our service, they become what we call a hotspot for Comcast and Xfinity services, meaning if you have our internet service and go to one of these businesses, you can use your own Xfinity service on your phone or on your tablets so that you're not using up your data time and that kind of thing on the appliance that you might be using. You can actually use your account with Xfinity at those locations. We have about 26 of those in Shreveport and one in the county, in fact. I believe y'all have an office, is it on Hearn? Y'all have, Hearn, that's a hot spot now. It's kind of an automatic thing we do with the businesses. There's no cost to the business to do it, and it enables them to have their own network and then also have something that the customers can use. And through these hotspots, we've also got interactive agreements with other cable companies. So if you travel to Texas or to New York City, you can actually use your Xfinity account if you're in one of those cities, and there's an app you can download on your phone or your tablet telling you where those hotspots are if you need to use it. So we're very excited about that. Everything within our business is becoming more about portability. You buy the services at your home, but you want to take it with you, you know, and we have a system now where you can download content on your DVR, you can go on vacation and you can access your content from your DVR when you're away on your tablet or whatever, and those are done through apps too. It's kind of exciting. We have a new platform coming out in December in Shreveport we're calling it X1. You'll start seeing some ads about that pretty soon. It's a DVR that enables you to record 4 channels and watch a 5th. It has 5 tuners in it, but it is also using the cloud. So if you by some chance have all these recordings, something happens to your converter and you need to swap it out, you don't lose your recordings because they're on the cloud. The guide, there'll be a new guide introduced with it that's just incredible. It's much more user-friendly. It will have Pandora and Facebook on the screen if you want to use it, and there will be a voice-activated remote control for those people who want to use that. So a lot of new technology coming forward. Andy, I want to give you a chance to add to what I've reported, and then any questions y'all have.
Sure. I just want to, again, I'm Andy Mackey, and work with Francis and making sure that folks know where to go when there's issues that are referred to by your constituents. So first, I'd like to say thank you for the opportunity to be here. And hopefully what you've taken from Francis's words is we've heard, we've listened to what you've had to say in terms of constituent issues, and we've responded, certainly taken that message back to the company, and the company has responded in terms of greater investment in the plant, investment in new products, and we've certainly seen those investments yield results in terms of better customer service metrics. We're certainly not here spiking the ball and saying that we're here. Destination has not been reached in terms of the state of the plant or the state of the service here in Caddo Parish, but certainly we are well on our way and certainly know where we where we need to go. That said, we certainly welcome continued input from you. Certainly you are close to the community and understand what, you certainly hear things that maybe we do and maybe we don't hear, and we certainly do not have, we certainly welcome any of those comments, and we'll continue to respond to that. So with that, we'll open it up to any questions that you might have.
Thibodeau.
I hate to pop the balloon, but just today at 1 o'clock, a lady called me and said her cable had been out for 9 days, and they were having an impossible task of reaching anybody to find out how to solve the problem. Someone I just happened to see outside told me that the cable may have come back on at about 2:30 today, but I want to give you her name and phone number and ask you to give her a call and see if, in fact, it did come back on. All right.
Is that it?
That's it.
And this is extremely helpful, and thank you for doing this, because as I said, everybody's not happy yet. We still have some areas that we're working on, but anyone who's having problems like this, we want to hear about them, and we will get them taken care of, and that's how we've worked through some things going forward, and that's what it's going to take to get where we need to go, so thank you.
My concern is, Ms. Smith, it's always the same thing. We don't have any local representation here. Someone that we can pick up the phone and call. About 3 to 4 months ago, I called you about an issue we were having, and it's 3 or 4 months later before I see you in my presence. I didn't get an answer to the problem, and we're still getting these calls about problems and issues with cable. We don't have anybody that we can pick up that can locally put our hands on. We have to wait until your schedule permits you to even be able to come this way, or we don't have anybody to connect with or talk to. I can also say this, that I myself witnessed a city council person sitting in the presence of them, witnessed them on a 25-minute conversation with one of their constituents about a problem they was having with Comcast. I gave her your name and number to give you a call to talk to you about the problem that they were having. If the problem got taken care of, I don't know. But my only thing is we're still having problems. We don't have anybody locally that we can put our hands on. I mean, you're in Mississippi. I've asked you if we got somebody here that we can actually pick up the phone and call. You kind of gave us somebody and you didn't. We don't have anybody. But we're still getting these phone calls. We don't know what to do. We really don't know, as the parish body, don't know what to tell these people. And I hear you say your trouble calls went down from 600 to 300. A lot of that is because the people are just tired of calling and not getting any results. That's one of the reasons why they're not calling. I have people personally tell me, I wish you all would get us another cable company. And there's nothing we really can do about it. So that's what the issues are. That's what brought you here, from calling you 3 to 4 months ago to try to get you to come here, to come before us, to give us some answers to what do we tell these people when they're picking up the phone, calling us and complaining about this cable service.
Well, the reason I gave my card to all of you when I was here the last time was so that you could call me. There is a local person present. He's not a general manager, but he is a manager of the technical operations, because that's the majority of the work that's done here is technical operations. Remick's out in the field. He rides with his techs. He checks on their work. He's overseeing the work, and so you might have more difficulty reaching him. I would rather those calls come to me so that I can get the information to him very, very quickly, and that has been working, you know, with other officials in the community. I do remember you calling me, and I thought we talked back. We did get that problem solved.
So you told me you was going to find out. The issue was that a constituent told me that they were going to be charged, and they said someone in the actual office told them that they were going to be charged $5 if they come in the office to pay their actual cable bill. And I never got an answer to that. You said you didn't know when I called you, and I still haven't gotten an answer to it.
There is no charge.
There is no charge to pay your cable bill, and I know I spoke with someone and explained that, and we had a discussion with the person at the office who made that comment. She has since left the company. It wasn't because of that. But no, there is certainly no charge to come to the office and pay your bill. That is not a situation at all. And
you're aware of her telling people that?
No, that was the only thing I had heard. That's the only time I had heard of that being mentioned to anyone. I never got any
feedback from you whether it was true or not, and they were continually telling people that they were going to be charged $5 to come into the office to pay their bill.
Well, they're not. That is certainly not a policy of the company. To come to the office and pay the bill is standard procedure for a lot of people. It's certainly not an issue. But Remick Darden is the technical manager here. I will get y'all his telephone number. And again, please call me, and I will get it referred to him, and we'll take care of any constituent that calls you that's having an issue. And again, as we continue to do this work in the field or whatever, we're going to see even better numbers. I've talked with numerous people who said they're getting fewer calls. It's not perfect yet. It will never be perfect, but it is certainly better than it was 6 months ago, and we're going in the right direction, and we're going to continue working until we get it where it needs to be.
Commissioner Williams.
Thank you, Madam Chairman.
think some of the things you said I want to piggyback on, a horseback ride on. You know, so customer service shouldn't be based on social economic status. You know, customers shouldn't have to call a Caddo Parish Commissioner because the other person on the line don't know them, Adam from Steve, or know their status. They should get customer service, period. Unfortunate, about the second year you've been up here, now all of a sudden, you did a nice public relation presentation to us. And however, the people in my district that live in the 711, 07, and 03s, in the poor socioeconomic black communities, their cable be out for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. They call me, I call customer service, and we still don't get it. And oftentimes, they don't even get a rebate for the time that it was off. And you study sending the same bill and their cable been off for a whole week. That is unfair business practice, and that's just not right.
Do you still have a list of those?
Let me finish.
I'm sorry.
Let me finish. I've seen witness cases over and over. In my own family, cable been off a week. I call. Same thing happened to our parish president. So when you tell them who you are, all of a sudden you get some help. That's not right. Anybody that call that pay their hard-earned money, with all them hidden fees you have on there, should get help and get service. You provide a service and you make a profit. That's why you're still in business. And I appreciate the service, competitive environment with DirecTV, and maybe we can get these rates down a little lower because right now they're so high. But with people in charge, they don't get the customer service they really deserve. And it's just unfair. So the miracle era of justice and the volume of change you said, I don't really feel it. It was a good presentation, it's a good sound bite, but I can tell you that for the end of the day, your boss from Atlanta, we're going to get a lot more calls tonight. I know you guys are working, you know, on it, but it seems like when it comes to the poor community, electricity go off. It takes weeks to get service back to poor old people that got people on diabetes, and people have oxygen machine and CPAP. Can't get no help. Can't get through. Cable go off. A lot of old people, that's all they have is a cable to watch their show. And we get these same old stories and we get no result. I can reassure you, commissioners, another year or 6 months from now, we're going to hear the same old rhetoric again. It sounds good, but I smell a skunk in the room. I just hope that, you know, this is not good soundbite. You're making a profit and you're equal opportunity employer. But that customer service is so important to put a face with a voice, a name, a face, where people can know I can call such and such. Like Swepco, we have somebody call, they get help right then. We have nobody here. You have to put people here that can interact and talk to these people and give them some kind of help and some hope. Right now, I have no confidence. Listen, I have no confidence in Comcast. Plus, I don't have the service. I changed because of all these reasons. And there are other folk, a lot of folk like me getting ready to change, unless these changes happen quickly enough where people won't change. So, welcome. We appreciate all the presentation you're doing, all the work you say you have done, and I just think that customer service need to be, not because I'm a commissioner, because I live in a certain part of the community, because I want help and I need it.
So, Commissioner, thank you for your comments. I just wanted to address a couple things that you mentioned. First of all, I agree with you that it's unacceptable for somebody to be out of service for 5 days or for 9 days or whatever that may be. That is absolutely unacceptable, and certainly if their service is out, they should get a credit for that time that they're out. So I agree with you. And certainly the company is also committed to providing the same level of service in any neighborhood, regardless of the size of the home or the value of that home or the income of that household. And certainly our plant is such, our service is such, that the same services are available in the nice part of Shreveport and Caddo Parish are available to the poorest home in Shreveport. So certainly in terms of the investments that we made in the community are absolutely consistent regardless of where that home sits. Beyond that, we've also made additional commitments to help support folks to lift themselves up. One example is our Internet Essentials program. Recognized as the largest internet provider in the country, we understand the power of the internet, whether it be education and access to healthcare, government services. If you go to school today without access to the internet, it's like you and I going to school without books. And so we have created a program where folks, students who are eligible for free and reduced lunch can get internet service for $9.95 a month. No fees, that's no additional fees, no nothing. It's $9.95 a month. You get it installed in your home, and that's as good as long as the kid's in school. So if there's a pre-K student today, that's a 13-year price guarantee. So there's a lot of things that we can do to help support the people in this parish, regardless of their economic condition. And again, I want to reiterate, we certainly don't think we're there relative to customer service. We have made progress. It's not lip service, and we're certainly happy to partner with you or anybody else on the commission to help move the ball forward.
I'll be looking and observing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Epperson.
In the last few months, and then in between the time as Francis, you visited us, my request have been from the complainants was that if you could put some sort of message on the bill where the people can remind them that in the event that they are out, they have outages, to track their outages, and they can contact you and get credit on their outage, for their outage. Because, you know, yeah, you see it, you see what I mean? But, you know, you put other things on these bills in the mess. So see if you can develop a spot on your bill emphasizing each month, if you are out, please keep track of your outages. And next time you pay your bill, there's some kind of way you can get those things. That's what I've been getting a lot of complaints about. The next item is when you do get someone on the phone to talk with a technician. Well, you know, I'm from the South. I don't guess I have the best speaking voice, and sometimes people say that Southerners speak with a drawl or whatever it is. But we get people on the lines, and I just happened to ask this person, this lady, I said, ma'am, where are you? Are you in Alabama? She said, no, I'm in with Philippines or Taiwan or out the country, somewhere. The accent was so heavy, that causes a problem. You know, why can't we get called? We got a big call center on Bert Coons. Why can't we utilize them? We closed down a call center on the corner of Bert Coons and Kingston Road. Why can't we put some people in there that, you see what I mean? I have no problem, but that's a problem to me. And then I look at another thing too. I look at, we talking about security and all that. I feel skeptical on talking with somebody in a foreign country and they knowing that type of information about me. You know what I mean? And that's a problem. And the third thing, I got a complaint. Have you all changed your office hours? You used to open at 8:30. Do you open at 9:30 now?
We changed the office hours to 9:30, but we're now open all day on Saturday instead of just for 4 hours. Okay. So we shortened it during the week, but it's open all day Saturday.
I got a lot of calls about the
people wanted more Saturday hours. People wanted more.
Well, I don't know. You have your figures, but all I'm doing is telling you what.
They did studies of the front counters of how many people came in at certain hours and that kind of thing, and we had a lot of requests for more Saturday hours because people needed more time. You know, Saturday morning you sleep in a little bit, or you got kids functions that you need to go to, that kind of thing. You couldn't always get to the office by 12. So they shortened it in the morning and extended it in the afternoon by, I think they extended it by a half an hour in the afternoon and then extended it all day on Saturday.
All I'm saying is what I got. The 8:30, I got calls about from the 8:30 opening to the 9:30. That's all I have.
Commissioner Bowman.
Yes, Madam President. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I am glad you all came down. I have two issues or two statements. One would be the customer service aspect. I know we're in the age of technology, and I know we're not maybe the size of Dallas, but our parish still deserves the same, I guess, attention that other areas do. My father, he's a barber. He owns a barber shop. Real simple man. He loves to look at his Comcast television. However, when things go out he comes home, it's hard for him to get in contact. You know, it's hard. It's just kind of difficult to navigate. He's sitting, and it doesn't have to be the lightning that strikes out, you know, as if we had, you would think we would have Dish or some other type of satellite company, but when it goes out, it's difficult. It's difficult for him, you know, that's like his pastime to be able to watch NFL and NBA, and he says, son, come fix this thing. How you fix this thing? And then I'm looking, you know, discombobulated because I can't really assist him. I said, well, Dad, let's just call the number. And we call the number, and it's, you know. So I think if we could add a personal touch, honestly, I think that would help to actually, you know, like Commissioner Jefferson said, someone actually in there or some type of way where someone can answer in a more rapid way, or we can leave a message and they call back. I think that would cut down on a lot. And I heard you mention the new DVR system. In the event that, let's say, it goes out and we use the DVR system, will we still, as customers, be able to watch the program that we're recording if the power goes out, or I mean, if the cable goes out?
If the cable is out, it's not going to record, but you still have the on-demand function that, you know, actually I'm recording less. I mean, I use my DVR and I love it, but I'm recording a little bit less because so much of the programming now is just available on standard on-demand.
Yes, ma'am.
There's going to be a way for you to get to watch that show if there's an interruption.
At a later time frame, not right then and there.
Not right now, okay. No further, thank you.
Commissioner Cox?
I hate to tell y'all this, I just got a text message from my wife. Oh my God.
What?
Comcast cable blurry today. Other channels okay. Your meeting blurry. May want to check the Shreveport channel because they can't see us right now.
Okay.
I told you that.
So the other channels are clear.
Channels
It's the
are clear, but
it's
the
the access
Shreveport-
channel that's blurry.
Exactly. Now, not a lot of people. A lot of people watch us. Sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't. But you know, we're all looking pretty good today. So
Got a swag on.
That's what I was thinking.
My wife doesn't watch me.
Now, let me ask you a question. Let's get down to other issues. Cost. Are y'all going to have a rate increase?
We have already implemented a rate increase this year.
Okay. At what price? At what price? At what percentage?
So the average increase was a little bit over 4% per customer. Just to put that into context, you know, the biggest driver for us in terms of costs is programming. And, you know, particularly sports programming, but programming generally, you're looking at double-digit increases. And so the balance for us is how do you still deliver that value proposition to the customer with the costs going up, and the fact is these other investments that we're making in the system. So it is a 4% increase. I think the other thing that's important to recognize, and certainly was referenced earlier, is we have a variety of options in terms of packages. You can get Comcast services for less than $15 a month. You can get another package for $35 a month. And then other packages go up from there. You can get everything that we offer for, you know, over $200 a month. So it just depends on what it is that you want. But I think the important thing is we have options for customers depending on what their home economics look like.
I want to mention too, and add to that, that less than 50% of the people are actually affected by the increase because they're in some type of package or promotion that didn't receive the increase. And also, a lot of people don't realize, now when we talk about programming, it's not just sports programming, a lot of people don't realize we're now paying the broadcaster. There's a retransmission consent fee there that we did not used to have, and that's been a significant increase for us in programming.
Everybody's got to have their cake. Contractors, I'm not real head over heels about, simply because they are not your employees. They are a contractor, and that's probably some of y'all's problem. That contractor can tell you he's got so many things done, but you're at their mercy. Are y'all going to phase this out after a period of time?
We will not phase out Comcast contractors 100%. Now, that said, we have 108 employees here in Shreveport, Caddo Parish that are regularly running routes, and really our focus is to continue to drive more volume of activity to in-house employees, and by the same token respond to what a lot of customers, particularly younger customers, want is self-service. So just by example, nearly 50% of our installations over the past year have been done without a technician coming into the house. They get what we call a self-install kit, the box or the equipment that comes to them in the mail. People connect it up, they call, and they don't even have to talk to somebody. Just through the IVR, they can activate the equipment, and they receive the service. So as we have more self-help, as that reduces the overall volume, which allows us to have a greater percentage of the activity taken care of by in-house folks. We're certainly in agreement with you. We prefer to have that customer relationship managed by somebody that is a Comcast employee, but the contractors are a necessity, particularly with the variability of our business from season to season. So for example, if when the kids get out of school, that's a time when you have a fair amount of disconnect activity. We're now in the middle of our back to school season, where you have a significant uptick in activity.
We do quality control even though they don't work for us. Since they have a contract with us, we do some quality control on their work too.
Yeah, I want to be honest with you, that don't work.
Amen.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Commissioner Escaday?
It's going to be interesting.
No, it's not. I'm not worried about it. I think these folks this is what they're paid to do, unless I'm wrong. They fly around, travel around, they take junk from people because there's a lot of criticism and question. That's what you do, isn't it? Pretty much. So, probably paid well, and they have strong constitutions, and that's what they do. I admire that. I don't care what people do for a business, for a living. It seems to me, though, that all the other programs you're putting into place, your expansion of services and all, that's all well and good. But it seems maybe, and I'm not trying to find a flaw in your business plan, but you're trying to get to home plate by skipping second and third. Why don't you get what you have right now and get it to work before you delve off into these other things? And I'm not talking from a constituent standpoint. I'm talking from personal experience. I wish I knew you were going to be here today. I've logged my internet service, which I have through you for the last 8 months. It's out every day between 11 and 1 o'clock. Yeah, you can set a timer to it, and in the evening generally. So, and I work at home.
What time did you say that was?
11 and 1. It's 1107, 1106 zip code.
Rich neighborhood.
But come to my house, you'll see different. But my point is, I work at home, so I'm down. If it wasn't for my iPad, then I'd be totally down. I don't have a problem with your customer service people. I've been there. They've been pleasant and nice. Your technicians are pleasant and nice. The problem I have with is getting the service. And I just have one, and I know that you're trying to improve your service, and I know that probably eventually you're going to have to get it there, or UVerse is going to come in here and just eat your lunch when they get all that together, because there is competition. You own the infrastructure, they have the same infrastructure already in place, they just technology to get it. So I believe you're going to get yourself together eventually, or not. I just want to know, just so I'll know. I have my phone with you and my cable and my internet service. It runs about $2.25 a month. And that's fine. I agreed to pay that. I just want to know when I'm going to get $225 a month worth of service. That's all I want to know. See, when my power goes out, the meter quits running. And I'm not going to track all the hours that I'm out and get on the phone and haggle over a partial rebate. I don't even want the rebate. I'm happy with the price. I want my service. When can I expect? That's all I want to know. Thank you.
Commissioner Johnson.
In the week.
Not me personally. It's for anybody.
I understand.
See, I don't call you, and I don't call you, and I don't call down there and tell them I'm anybody special. I just don't do. I call as a regular person, mostly just see how I'm treated. And it's not the people. I just want my signal.
Got it.
Thank you.
Commissioner Johnson.
I too am a Comcast customer. Right now I haven't had any problem lately. And Francis, I do thank you for when I do send you emails that my constituents send me, that you jump right on top of it. But agreeing with Commissioner Williams, that constituent shouldn't have to send me an email or call me to say I got trouble I've tried to call the customer service. I tried to do this. I tried to do that. I'm at my ends wits. And basically then at that point in time, they'll call me or send me an email. Ends wits. And you have actually jumped on top of everyone I've sent you. And I appreciate you for that. I do go into the center to pay my bill. I was told that in order to go up to the window that you had to pay an additional $5. I have not been charged that $5, and I think it's kind of went away since I was told that 1 month, and I told them that they was crazy, and that, you're gonna lose a lot of customers because that's a service.
How long ago was that? Do you remember?
That was
Oh,
around
3 or 4 months.
March, maybe February, March, somewhere in that time frame. And since then, I haven't been charged. So I go in, I always make sure I talk to the ladies that are at the front window. So the service here with those is wonderful. They come in, people come in with all type of attitudes because they talk to someone in another state, another country, and they get upset and they try to, put it off on them. And they handle it well. They actually have real thick skin. Some of that stuff I think I couldn't handle myself, and smile back at them and like the way that they do. So I don't think the issue is those ladies. One thing that I think Cox talked about was your contractors. Those guys don't have the same commitment as the Comcast employees. So they get a job, and like that one last complaint, they lay the cable on the ground, and it takes them a while to come back to do it. They're not in a hurry, so they don't, they're not a Comcast employee. They subbed out, so, I go back when I get ready. The other issue is when they do have an outage, I think if they would see more Comcast vehicles in the area working, doing things, that people would say, okay, well, they're working to get it done. But when you have an outage, you can ride through neighborhood, half a town, and won't see nobody. And so that makes them think that, okay, I'm still being ignored. Nobody's really trying to address my issues. Like you do with the SWEPCO, you see trucks everywhere when we have outages. So just some perceptions that probably need to be cleaned up. And then the last piece is cost. I think this is the second raise and increase in price this year. I think we had one, or was that at the end of last year?
Last year.
Okay, so we 2 years back to back, and the service hasn't got to the level where people think that it should be at, and we've had 2 pay increases. So that's kind of hard to swallow, and that's what most of my complaints are now, is because of the rate hikes. And the service is not where they think it should be at. I too pay the $200 some a month. I don't want to pay it, but that's what I got to pay for right now until I can find something better.
Man.
So that's all I have to say about that. Thank you.
Commissioner Lynn?
I feel obligated to jump on the boat with everybody.
You good at it.
I want you to know that that I have absolutely no complaints about Comcast cable, and that is because I have listened to everybody else, and I don't have y'all as a service.
Time to get religion.
And so with that, when my constituents call me and they do have complaints, I give them your cell phone, Mrs. Smith, and thank you for giving it to me. And if any constituents have any complaints with Comcast, just call me up and I'll give you their cell phone number. That's all. Thank you, Madam President.
That's all of the comments and questions. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next item is what? Oh,
Before we leave this, may I add something to the administration?
yes.
Mr. Wilson,
Mr. Wilson?
I received an email relative to, is it AT&T U-verse may be in the area? Is that a fact?
Yes, sir. I'm not putting it on.
Okay.
I got to see the same email.
Could you see if that is valid and see if we can contact someone from them and see if we can find out what their plans are?
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Next, we have President's Report.
Nelson.
Next, we move to adopt the minutes of the regular meeting held on August 8th.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Lynch, second by Commissioner Dominic, that we adopt the minutes of the August 8th regular meeting. Is there any discussion? None, please vote. That passes. Next item.
Next, we move to public hearing on ordinances. Ordinance number 5330 of 2013 to amend the operating capital budget for the 2013 to appropriate $7.5 million to provide the funds to the Industrial Development Board to purchase the GM plant.
Is there anyone here to speak in favor of this ordinance? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition? Next item.
Ordinance number 5331 of 2013 to amend the budget of estimate revenues and expenditures for Economic Development Fund and the Oil and Gas Fund for the year 2013 to provide an appropriation of $300,000 for architectural design of the Caddo Commons.
Is anyone here to speak in favor of ordinance number 5331? Anyone here to speak against? Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Ordinance number 5332 of 2013 declaring certain adjudicated properties to be surplus and authorize the parish administrator or designee to sell the parish's tax interest.
Is anyone here to speak in favor of ordinance number 5332? Anyone here to speak in opposition? Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Ordinance number 5333 of 2013 to amend the Caddo Parish Code of Ordinances to amend and reenact section 2-30 thereof to authorize commissioners and their dependents to participate in group insurance.
Is there anyone here to speak in favor of ordinance number 5333? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition? Next item.
That'll conclude our public hearing. We move to zoning ordinance for final passage. Zoning case number P513 in regard to ordinance number 5323 of 2013, Metropolitan Planning Commission applicant. Request to amend section 35-1 of chapter 35 of the Caddo Parish Code of Ordinances to require specific forms of approval for location of manufactured housing or mobile homes, delayed from August 8th regular session.
So moved.
Second. Moved by Commissioner Epperson, second by Commissioner Lynch. Is there any discussion from Commissioner Cox?
I'd like to ask this to be postponed for a couple of weeks so Mr. Dumachet, myself, and they can look over some things that's come up. So we just want to check our balances on this.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
A motion?
Substitute motion, I second.
To postpone for 2 weeks.
Moved by Commissioner. We have a substitute motion on the floor to postpone for another 2 weeks.
Yes.
By Commissioner Cox, second by Commissioner Escaday. Is there any discussion? Commissioner Johnson?
Yeah, do we have any kind of outline of why we want to postpone this?
Just from Mr. Dumachet, is he here?
Is he here?
Mr. Dumachet, could you please come up? I hate to put you on the spot, but I am anyway.
Take your time, it'll be a while.
Get through all the cameras.
Y'all got on the same color today, y'all.
Well, we're trying to get right.
Yes, this ordinance has been brought up. It was recently passed by the city, dealing with mobile homes inside the city. But this will affect mobile home placement within the 5 miles of the MPC jurisdiction. And we have quite a bit of families and developers putting mobile homes out there, and we want to take a closer look at it. The MPC is cleaning up some of the language to bring it in line with the state statutes. So we just want to take a couple weeks to look at it, make sure what we present to the commission is valid and that we don't have to go back and undo something that we have done.
So what about the city side? The city has already passed this, so.
Yes, sir. That's government stuff inside the city. If you have a mobile home that's already there, once that mobile home is unusable, they will not be able to replace it.
Okay.
Commissioner Epperson?
Steve.
Steve.
Right. Steve,
Everybody look good today, I like it.
I think on the, at the last meeting, the only issue that we had was strikeouts?
Well, what we had
Right.
the last meeting is a request that you be able to see the strike-through version of this so that it can be looked at more directly. I will just tell you that Mr. Dumachet approached me on Monday, asked quite a number of questions, and we did our best to answer those questions. And had a meeting with Mr. Dumachet yesterday, still asking quite a number of questions. So we're going to continue to provide information.
Mr. Demache, you had questions, you sat in on the meetings prior to this where this ordinance came up previously, didn't you?
No, sir, I did not.
Well, why wouldn't you let the commissioners know? I mean, you knew that a motion was made to postpone it. Why didn't you let us know what your concerns were? We were under the impression that the ordinance was sent down as a paperwork problem.
No, sir.
Because let me tell you something. I have in Deer Creek subdivision, there are some people clearing a lot now with the intent of putting a mobile home on it. On Brossett Drive, we just had a situation where they was getting it rezoned with the intent on putting a mobile home in it, which is in the parish. In a subdivision, and we were talking about subdivisions. We weren't talking about if somebody got 50, 60, 100 acres, 10, 12, 15 acres of land, what they can't do. We're talking about in developed subdivision like Deer Creek, Colonial Heights, Timberline, Lakeview, you know. And you got these lots and people think they can come get it and clear it off and then stick a trailer home on it. You know, we just had a new house or where they want to put this trailer home up coming up now, probably $360,000 to $400,000 just been put up. And less than an eighth of a mile down the road, they talking about clearing out, putting a trailer house in it. Is there anything to stop that, Gene, at this point in time in the parish?
Right now, today, in the parish, if you're in a subdivision, as you just talked about, it is a use by right to have a manufactured home. It is not a use by right to have a mobile home. In the parish, in the residential agriculture, it is a use by right to have a mobile home if you have an acre or more, and it is a use by right to have a manufactured home at any size lot.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to vote against the amended motion. I'd like the ordinance to go through as proposed initially, original motion, and if there are any extenuating circumstances, I think we can deal with them individually. Thank you.
Commissioner Bowman?
Yes, Madam President. I just have a question. For you, Mr. Demache, to do this, has new information come that's relevant or for you to be able to, like, you need more research to do it? Like, if we move forward, are we in jeopardy?
Commissioner Bowman, the reason the questions were brought up, we had a retired gentleman coming in from North Carolina, moving back onto family property, which is not in a gated community, but he could not do that because he was told that he was going to have to go through the ZBA to get approval to put his mobile home on family property, which fell within inside the MPC. And so we just asked a simple question: how is this going to affect individuals? We understood about communities, gated communities, like Commissioner Epperson was talking about.
Correction, those aren't gated communities.
Okay,
those are
those type of communities that had standing home. But we're talking about this family is moving back, retiring, coming back to Caddo Parish, purchasing a mobile home to put on family property within the MPC area, and they were going to have to pay a larger fee to get the property. It was going to have to go before the ZBA, which was going to take another 30 to 45 days. And we just asked the question, how is this ordinance going to impact that? That's the simple question we asked.
Yes, sir. That's what I want to know, because I know I couldn't see why you come back. Like you said, we already voted for it. I know something new must have come up in order for us, like, we need more time.
And that was the simple question we asked.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner, are you finished?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Dominic?
Stephen, what did, run it by me again, what you said a while ago. I know you and I talked about it. And can you tell us the difference? You're saying a manufactured home and mobile home. What's the difference between those two? Can you tell us real quick?
I'll just give you a kind of real simple.
I asked him, okay?
I'm going to give you really simple. In the current ordinance today,
I got 15 people talking to me. So would y'all please be quiet? Let me talk to Mr. Jean.
No.
Thank you.
Go, man.
No, you go, Vice President.
Behave.
in the ordinance we have today, what people normally refer to as a double-wide home is defined in our ordinance as a manufactured home. It has to meet very specific criteria in order to be permitted as a manufactured home. It has to have a pitched roof, which is a minimum of 3 and 12. It has to be skirted. It has to be anchored. It has to have a seal from HUD, the saying that meets that particular manufactured home standard.
All right.
Okay, so that is allowed by right today in all of the R1 districts and is also by right in RA today. What is being proposed is that we will, and we also have a distinction, there's what we all refer to as mobile homes or single-wide homes is defined in the ordinance as a mobile home. It also has a HUD seal. That is allowed by right only in the RA district with 1 acre lots and above. The pathway that... Right now today, there is a pathway to get permitted, and there is a planning director approval, which has a fee of $350 that you can pay to get that approved administratively.
Mobile home.
A mobile home. Under the new ordinance, the only uses by right that will exist are in mobile home subdivisions that are actually zoned as mobile home subdivisions and mobile home parks, zoned as mobile home parks. They will still be by right. Every other district, if it is basically the way it's defined in the ordinance, if it is defined by HUD and regulated by HUD as a manufactured home or mobile home, it will no longer be a by right, but can be a special exception use approval. And the $350 fee that I mentioned earlier, that was the same fee we're using for the planning director approval, now is the fee amount. We created a new category, which is residential special exception use, which for all residential special exception uses would apply to, that is the $350 amount. That's where that amount came from. So the same amount you would have paid for a planning director approval, you will now pay for a public hearing.
Basically, to put a mobile home or a manufactured home in the R1s, you'd have
In
to
the
get,
RA.
You have to get in the RA.
And RA.
You'd have to get approval from the zoning board.
Yes, you have to file a
The theory on
case.
that is behind, if you had some nice home subdivisions like Commissioner Epperson was talking about, and I think you and I were talking about a situation in Commissioner Epperson's district that
Yes.
you have these nice homes and a old home gets put right up there by it.
This would
No one has
require a
anything to
public process in order for that to happen. At one time, it was not a complete public process. There was a process where you would identify a number of people immediately around a home, and they would sign off on it.
And if we vote on it, it'll be just from in the MPC area, the 5 miles out, right?
It would only be within what's already zoned currently outside of the city limits.
Up to the
Yes.
5 mile limit, because the city of
Right.
Shreveport's already passed it, right?
Yes, they have.
Okay.
Meaning, don't move. When you say the city of Shreveport passed it, that means
They've already passed it.
that,
Within the city limits,
right,
what I just described is law and is being enforced today.
Mr. Dumashay, your reason for wanting to delay this was what now?
We just wanted to get clarification on how that was going to impact people that are not in these mobile home parks and those things. We just doing the due diligence. We asked the question.
He just said.
They're gonna have to get zoning board approved?
And that's all we wanted to get the clarification from them, and it's the commission's
You need 2
decision.
weeks for that? I'm just asking.
There was a meeting that was scheduled today that we could not have today.
Well, I can understand what Commissioner Epperson is saying, because I've had that happen. I have a city district, but I've had that same thing happen, where mobile homes have went up into neighborhoods of people having some very expensive houses, and then they let somebody put a mobile home or a manufactured home right on the same block. And wasn't a happy camper about that, so I can understand what Commissioner Epperson is saying about this. Thank you so much. Commissioner Cox?
And Mr. Dumashay was right. We were going to wrap this up this morning, but due to events that happened this afternoon, we could not all get together. That's why we were just gonna say delay it and make sure all of our definitions were done. Now that we're done, I will pull my, yeah.
Substitute
motion.
Okay.
Yeah. So, sorry for the inconvenience, but we got it all straight.
Commissioner Cox.
Second, okay.
Who said?
pull it.
Okay.
Call for the question.
No,
Wait a minute,
Back to the
you ain't
original
even
motion.
up there.
Patient, Mike.
Commissioner Epson.
So I finished,
Okay.
since he withdrew.
So we
vote
can,
on
he
the,
withdrew,
ordinance.
so we can go ahead and vote on the original.
So we withdrew the motion and the
Yes,
second.
and the
on
second.
substitute.
So we're gonna vote on the original. Please vote. That passes. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Bowman, did you vote? I don't have your vote.
I pressed for yes.
Okay, just want to be sure.
Yes, sir.
Next, we move to ordinances for final passage. Ordinance number 5330, 2013, to amend the operating and capital budget for the 2013 budget to appropriate $7.5 million to provide the funds to the Industrial Development Board to purchase GM plant.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Escaday, second by Commissioner Epperson. Is there any discussion? If none, please vote. Commissioner Johnson, he was late. Vote.
Okay, well, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Vote.
That passes. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Ordinance number 5331 of 2013, to amend the budget of estimate revenues, expenditures for Economic Development Fund and the Oil and Gas Fund for year 2013 to provide an appropriation of $300,000 for architectural design to the Caddo Commons.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Williams, second by Commissioner Lynch. Is there any discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Johnson?
When did Escape go first?
I need to make a substitute motion that the amount be amended to read up to $350,000. If I could get a second, I'd like to speak on it.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Escaday, second by Commissioner Lynn to make a substitute motion that it reads up to $350,000. Is there any discussion? Commissioner Escaday?
Yeah, the amount of the study was always been about in the $300,000 to $350,000 range. I'm not sure somehow how we got our wires crossed in committee. I'm not sure what the ask was. It might very well be my fault. I just can't tell you, but it's needed. It's needed to read and say up to 350 because I want our purchasing to oversee the process and make sure it's in our Caddo's best practices as well. And it's just, I'll have to assume it was my fault since I don't remember how it happened, but that's
Well,
it.
I
Thank
did
you.
withdraw my motion on the original motion and just vote on his.
Commissioner Lynn?
you made a mistake?
Attorney got something.
Yeah,
Can you admit to it?
well, I think I made a
No,
mistake, Judge.
well, we have to vote, I think, on the amendment because this is what was advertised.
Okay.
Just
Commissioner,
as a,
I keep calling him Commissioner. Attorney.
He's running against somebody.
I mean, I just want to let the commission know that I think as worded, this is a this is an appropriation ordinance, and so if it's worded to say up to, I mean, the question is, this is an appropriation, it's not an expenditure, so that language makes the ordinance kind of vague. I mean, I just want to make sure that the intention of the commission is still to appropriate $300,000, but obviously, if the cost of what you're appropriating the money for does not equal $300,000, then what's going to be paid is whatever. I mean, y'all appropriate money all the time to do things that doesn't cost that much, is what I'm saying. And so, I mean, if you appropriate X amount of money for a particular project and it only costs something less than that, that's all it's going to get paid anyway. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I just want to make sure that the commission understands that what in effect it is doing is appropriating $300,000. And if it turns out that the cost of the work that's being done is $290,000, and that's what's going to get paid.
We can amend it, can't we?
Was it amended to
Just
350?
amended it up to 350.
It's more.
Well, you're adding to it.
Right.
Up to it, 350.
Can you
I
just say
need,
350?
So then, in effect, the net effect is you're appropriating $350,000.
You retired, man. You acting
Yes.
I need to get on to the party.
Thank you. Up to 350. Charles, thank you for that last root canal, man.
Commissioner Lynch, are you withdrawing your second?
Meeting ain't over.
Yeah.
Okay, Commissioner Johnson.
I have basically been against this particular deal from the very beginning. And I think that there's other needs in the parish. And what I want to also say is I'm using some of the words from fellow Commissioner Thibodeau, as he always says, it's duplication of services. This study will then lead to a park area, and that park area is the same as what we have already established at Festival Plaza. There's an amphitheater there, and you're putting the amphitheater on the other end of Texas Street, which to me doesn't make sense. We do need other things to happen in the city of Shreveport, but I just don't think that this Caddo Common is the answer for the reviving of downtown Shreveport. As a child, I can remember that downtown flourished when there were retail stores, there were movie theaters, there were eateries, and you just don't have that right now to that same extent. So to put an amphitheater there, I just don't see how that's going to revive downtown Shreveport. To tie it into the Leadbelly area and saying it's going to revive it, I just don't see that either when you already have parks in that particular area. So to me, again, I say this is not something that we should do, and that's why I'm against it.
Commissioner Thibodeau.
I'll say Mr. Johnson is a wise man. My concern with this money is we're looking to spend $350,000 on about an acre of land, which to me is an extraordinary amount of money for design. And the infrastructure, which is what would be the most expensive part if there were changes made, belongs to the city of Shreveport. And I don't think that we need to be spending money to design, as part of that money being spent, is to design new infrastructure that will be needed, water, sewage, and that type of thing. When it belongs to the city, they have people that can do that. And secondly, even though the design cost may not come back at $300 or $350, I can assure you that if I were the architect that was bidding on this, and I knew how much money had been appropriated, I would certainly put my bid in at close to the appropriation. So to me, it just seems to be excess for what needs to be done. So that would be the reason that I will not be supporting it.
Commissioner Williams.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I'm going to disagree with my colleagues. That's what's wrong with Shreveport and Caddo now. We cannot keep it the good old boy way no more. We got to reach beyond the scope of horses and buggies, and we got to find opportunity for people to come to this great city that we live in, besides just entertainment or the riverboats. There's nothing wrong with McDonald's and Whataburger and Burger King. They all coexist together. That's what marketing is all about. You don't have one size fit all. You can have some square dancing, some jazz, some R&B, some blues, all going on one time on all the stages.
We don't square dance anymore.
Well, we could be a multicultural, diverse community. That is wrong. We got to think outside the box. Got to have people that want to provide tourism and entertainment to Caddo Common. We got to learn to coexist with the city of Shreveport. We got to learn to work together and share in projects together. There's nothing wrong with intergovernmental relationships and working together to bring people together. That's what the downtown is the anchor of every community. The first thing on the west downtown, and what does it do? We're taking all our resources and all our dollars to Texas, to San Antonio, New York, and New Orleans because we want horses and ponies downtown. Them days are over. Listen, we live in the 21st century now. But art is the industry that everybody needs to share in. This country was built on music and art and entertainment. So what you want us to have downtown then? If you bring people, you'll bring stores, you'll bring other entertainment, you'll bring things to downtown. But you want to leave it just like it is, you ain't gonna bring nobody. It's gonna be Dodge City. Just people walking up and down inside the sidewalk. I think we need to get innovative and creative and do creative things to bring people to our parish and our city. That one of the best parish and the best city in America, but we don't think like that. We still think it's small, but we want to act big. So Caddo Common is just going to be the piece of the puzzle of everything that's going to come together. I think it's a great opportunity, great innovation to bring some downtown to show the diverse. It brings people together, people having fun in our community, enjoying our restaurants, our parks, our river boats, our theaters. I can't wait till they get it down here. I'll be one of the first ones to participate. Plus, it's in my district, and you know I won't. Thank you.
Commissioner Bowman?
Well, I guess my question would be, I guess what piqued my interest when I was reading over the ordinance, I like the issue about the retail development. And that's something we do need. I know we've all discussed about Dave and Buster's type industries and people coming here. Will we really be able to see that there? Because if so, then I'm for that.
You don't know till you try.
I won't know until we try.
That's right.
Well, thank you.
Commissioner Escudé?
I'm going to support this. You know, it seems like lately, anytime something comes up that somebody agrees with, everybody asks the question, oh, should we be doing that? Should we be doing that? I don't know. But should we be doing things the way that were done when the police jury was here, or last year, or 10 years ago? You know, things have changed. The economy's changed. The dynamics of the world has changed. Now, we all got, a lot of us, either your district's very squeezed through redistricting, or in my case, largely expanded, because Commissioner Williams' district had lost almost half its population in 10 years. Now, if we can revitalize this center downtown and create some economic opportunity and give people a chance to want to move back in and get some commerce going, then we ought to be able to do it or assist in doing it. And we're talking about assisting. The city can give assistance with infrastructure needs. They can't give any money. They don't have any money. They've got less than $1 million in reserves right now. So, just because it happens to be inside the city doesn't mean it's not inside the parish.
Amen.
What?
Now, we're sitting here with excess revenues, and some people think it's a good thing, some people think it's a bad thing. But, you know, here's the bottom line. We have made a commitment to take this money we have, this windfall, I think, and reinvest it back into this city and this parish in ways that have a meaningful impact on people's lives and their futures. If this can create economic activity and housing construction and put old buildings back on the tax payroll, then that is a good thing. The same way that we've invested it in Southern University's LPN program or the aircraft maintenance program. The same way we'd invested it in LSU. But I'm going to tell you now that sitting on this, I guess we got about $60 million in excess cash. That's not what government's supposed to do. If it was up to me, if I thought I could pass, I'd introduce an ordinance right now, writing every citizen a check for that, because we shouldn't have it.
Second.
So we can do one of two things. We can take this money and reinvest it in a meaningful way, or we can hoard it and let it sit there. Or you can go ahead and give it away to a bunch of NGOs, and they'll go through it in a year. Why don't we reinvest? Why don't we reinvest in our community? Give this area a chance to come back. Everybody's familiar with the project. If anybody can head up a project and get it going right, you know it's SRAC. They have studied it. They're going to have events there every weekend, a major event every month, and something there every weekend in that park. It'll be used more than the riverfront, more than Riverview, more than anything that we have down there, more than the Festival Plaza. So we can do one or two things. We can get out and have a little vision and invest this money in something that will maybe create something for all the citizens here, or we can continue to sit and stockpile it and have people say, y'all are sitting all that money. They're right. If we're going to keep on sitting on it and not reinvest it, then I say, let's give it back. Thank you.
You said.
Commissioner Lynch. Thank you, Mr. Escagay, for giving me credit for that speech you just made. You sounded a lot alike on that. Let me just say that I just want to make sure, and I'm going to support this because there's not much SRAC can ask me for, because I'm a big proponent of the arts and culture community. However, I do want to make sure that we are just talking about an architectural design. We're not talking about anything else at this point. This is what this appropriation is for. And I want to make sure, and I know in some discussions with Pam, they are under the slight impression that our appropriating money for the design of this area also is an indication that we're going to fork over $3 million for whatever they come up with in this design. And I want to be clear that my support for this is separate from actual funding, whatever they design. That's a discussion for another day. So I just want to be clear on that. Thank you.
Mr. Johnson?
Well, listen to my colleagues.
Point of information, Madam Chair. Commissioner Johnson has spoken. This will be his second go-round. I have not spoken, so I take precedence.
That's correct.
Yes, correct.
Oh,
I'm so
Mr.
sorry.
Parliamentarian, you go.
I didn't see him on the board.
Commissioner, go ahead and talk.
I call for the motion on the question.
It has been moved by Commissioner.
There was.
I didn't ever see your name, Commissioner Smith. Who seconded you?
I don't know him, but nobody. Died for
Well,
a second.
Second.
Commissioner, second by
Y'all
Commissioner
second
Bolt. Please vote.
That's the call for the question.
That passes. Mr. Smith, I didn't see your name.
Vote on the motion
Yeah,
now.
you didn't come up there.
I punch it.
It never showed.
Sorry.
Let's vote.
We did. Oh,
No,
now it's time to vote on the
motion.
motion, ordinance.
Okay, point of order for me. Did we withdraw the original motion, and we've got an amended motion up to
Right, up to, no,
$350,000?
are you still saying up to, or is it just 350,000?
Up to 350,000. Those were my words. Thank you.
Thank you. We voted on the substitute motion.
Yes, they withdrew the original.
Substitute take precedence.
That's right.
Money, 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 money.
It passed. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Next, we have ordinance number 5332 of 2013, declaring certain adjudicated properties to be surplus and authorized parish administrator or designated to sell tax interest.
So move, Madam Chairman.
Moved by Commissioner Lynch, second by Commissioner Williams. Is there any discussion?
What you called me?
Williams?
I thought you said something else.
Oh. Is there any discussion? If not, please vote. I said Lynch, Williams. What you thought I said? That's what it sounded like. That passes. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Ordinance number 5333 to amend the Caddo Parish Code of Ordinances to amend and reenact Section 2-30, thereof the commissioners and their dependents to participate in group insurance.
So move.
Moved by Commissioner Lynch, second by Commissioner Williams. Is there any discussion? None, please vote. That passes.
We have no ordinances for introduction by title. We move to work session minutes, ratify the work session minutes.
So move.
Moved by Commissioner Williams, second by Commissioner Johnson, that we ratify work session minutes. Is there any discussion? None, please vote. That passes. Next item.
Next, we move to resolutions. Resolution number 41 of 2013, amending the rules and bylaws of the Caddo Parish Commission, Article 12, travel policy.
So moved. Moved by Commissioner Lynch, second by Commissioner Johnson. Is there any discussion? None, please vote. And that 2, 6, that fails. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Resolution number 46 of 2013, urging the Louisiana State Legislature to repeal Louisiana Stand Your Ground law.
So moved, Madam Chairman. I would like to speak on it.
Moved by Commissioner Williams, second by Commissioner Johnson. Is there
Madam
any
Chair-
discussion? Commissioner
Madam
Williams?
Chairman, in recent highlight of what's going on in America, even with the case in Florida. But before we can point the finger at others, we as a community need to stop killing and violence ourselves. In order to save our own sons and save our own community, we must start saving ourselves. Not only has there been a random act of violence on black crime in America, and there's really no rallying cry when a black shoot a black. If a white shoot a black or a black shoot, we all should be concerned by any child being shot in this country. I have a picture of Ebony magazine. The editor of this book, wrote the editorial in this book. She had a 7-year-old son. He said, "Mama, how you gonna protect me?" I told my own son, don't even wear hoodies no more. Back during the movement, the Ku Klux Klan wore hoodie, and nobody passed a law to stand your ground when they were just shooting and lynching people for no reason. Why wouldn't a stand your ground law back then? You got people that are skinheads looking for a way to just kill someone of another color for no reason, only because of hatred and bigotry. We cannot sit in this country and say that race is not an issue. Look at all the inequality and the discrimination in this country. The police warned this individual, stop. Stop in your tracks. We coming. He still proceeded to kill a boy with Skittles. Unarmed. Shot this little 17-year-old baby. In America, in this country. And you had to put your hope and trust in a trial and a jury. Even statistics show when you read the resolutions, as a young man to put your hood on. Those are the Trayvon Martins out there. Put your hoodie on, let people see you. He's a young man that, for some reason, may be walking up and down the streets of Shreveport or the Cooper Road, had their hoodies on for no reason. Good, fine young men, athletes, boxers. They end up getting shot for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's not the kind of country we need to be living in this time. If we need anything else, we need to have Christ in our lives. We need to learn to love this country and stop this hate and this madness in this country. Even our young people need to stop hating on each other. Stop hating, stop being mad, stop being mean. For what? Why are you so mad? Statistically show Latinos and African Americans are the victims of gun violence, and the leading cause of death is Latinos and African Americans. The Urban Institute did a troubling pattern of racial disparity in applicating the stand your ground law, which white on black shootings are more likely to be found justified, and black on white shooting less likely to be found justified in states with this law. Texas A&M did a research that showed that after states passed stand your ground measures, they saw no drop in robberies, burglaries, or aggravated assault, and an increase in murders. Tampa Bay did a review. 190 cases of death in Florida. Stand your ground law led to release of the killer, and 7% of the victims were unarmed. Louisiana passed a law and it's very confusing. Recent discussion of Louisiana stand your ground showed that it can be confusing to citizens and escalate in violence in this situation. I think we need to send a clear message to America that we don't promote this type of behavior in the state of Louisiana. Nobody should be shot down because of what they wear. There'd be a lot of people shot down every day. And this is just not right in this time. Maybe there was a time when guns and gangs and violence was, maybe you need a time to stand your ground, but we don't have that type of violence anymore. Even Jesus of Christ, he wore a hoodie. And they crucified him. The Ku Klux Klan still wearing their hoodie. And nobody stand your ground and shot them. And we know what they represent. That child that wears a hoodie could be one of our child in this room, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. But all you can say is, I'm sorry. And you put your trust in a justice system, one of the greatest systems in America. But I don't always agree with the outcome when the decision is rendered. If you walked a mile in our shoes, maybe you can understand the plight and the frustration we face every day as a race of people. We got black on black crime, we got high school dropout, we got teenage pregnancy, we got illiteracy. Sometimes we feel like we have no hope in a country that we helped build. We didn't ask to come over here. We came over here by force, shackled down, chained, dogged, and whipped like animals on a boat. Thrown us in a boat, chained it down. We had to even urine and step in our own mess while we came over to Virginia. For no reason, this country never gave our just due in this country. We helped build this country. We helped build the infrastructure. We served in the army and still haven't got the justice we need in this country. When will we ever have justice in this country? I'm very passionate about what I'm talking about.
I know you are. You got it for the sake of time, though. We got you.
Let's send a message to this state legislator and to this governor and anybody on any side, that promotes racial tension in our country, black or white or whatever. It's time for us to change and move forward. In this defining moment, we need to move forward and make this the best country in the world like it is, like it's supposed to be, and restore those values and those principles in all of our young men in this country. And we don't need laws like this no more to give a vigilante an opportunity to pull a trick, because he always wanted to do it and hide behind this law. I ask for your support. Appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Commissioner Bowman?
Thank you, Madam President. And I echo some of the same sentiments as Commissioner Williams, but my issue and what I want us to be able to stand for is not a black and white issue. That's very bad and prevalent, but it's also an issue, a human issue that we need to look at. Because I am a victim and have been a victim. It wasn't from another race. I was a victim of carjacking from my own people. So I think we just need to take a stand only with this, but a stand for violence against humans, period, unnecessary violence. And being a person who has been a victim of that, I believe people should have the right to bear arms, but I also believe that we should all stand for the love of a human, no matter what color, creed, or wherever they are, to look out for each other and to stand up against wrong in any case.
Commissioner Lynn?
My two fellow commissioners who have just spoke, I believe in everything that you just said. And I believe that if I was carjacked by Klansmen, that if I was in fear of my life, I would want to shoot them. And I want to say that if Commissioner Williams was chased home by a gang of Klansmen and he was getting out of the car and they were trying to put you in your house, I would hope you would have a gun so you could shoot every single one of them, because you would need to stand your ground on your property. This law, stand your ground, it doesn't have any color in it. It has self-protection in it. That if I'm getting out of my car at my home, or if I'm at a red light in my vehicle and a person is trying to inflict harm upon my body, harm upon your body, harm upon the homeowner, and you don't know what's going to happen, it gives you the right to defend your life. And that's what I like about the Stand Your Ground law. That's all, Madam President.
Commissioner Thibodeau?
You just said everything I want to say.
Commissioner Cox?
You know, over the last 8 months, year, even further back, this country's went through a lot of issues and changes, with the young man from Florida to the young man in Oklahoma City.
That's true.
People take a ride down the street and they're bored, and they take a gun out and gun down an individual who's jogging down a couple of years back. An individual was riding in a car and decides to shoot in a crowd down here at the Civic Center. Takes the life of the young girl. Or they're driving down the street and shoots in a house. Individually, as a whole, this country is way off base as far as the way we deal with this, the way we look at this, and the punishment given out. Stand your ground means if someone is looking at you to do harm, you knock them out. You take them out. You protect what is yours legally. Legally. And I would hope that you do this in a way that you protect your home, your family, your way of life. Somebody comes up to me, I'm going to protect what's mine. We are caught up in he said, she said in this country. We are caught up in putting the blame where it's shading the issue. The young man that was shot in Oklahoma, now they're trying to say, well, we got too many guns on the street. We have over 1 million or 10 million guns in this country. I still can say, I can put a gun right here on this counter. That gun's not going to shoot somebody unless somebody picks it up and uses it. The problem we have here is it's not the law. I'm going to vote against this today. The problem is people standing up for what's right and what's wrong, like Mr. Bowman just said. And until we get this politically incorrect out of our head and start telling people how it is and how it's going to be, we're going to deal with this from now on. It's not a black on black. It's not a black on white. It's not a Hispanic on Asian. It is people doing it to people.
Right.
And until the young people of this area and this country realize there are consequences. We have 3 African Americans sitting in jail in Oklahoma right now, and they were tweeting about the shooting afterwards. So what does that tell you? Where were their parents? Where were their schools? School just started here this week or last week. I've already seen kids walking the street, not going to school. I'm going to vote against this simply because it's the right thing to do, but I also would like to encourage everybody on this panel to work with the city, work with the school board, and make sure that our kids, our young people, anybody who is inside Northwest Louisiana, understand we all have a say in this. We all have a reason to look further down the road. And if we don't do something about this, it's going to get worse. So-and-so can get away with it. Hey, I can too.
Right.
Well, sooner or later, it's going to hit somebody, and it's going to hit the wrong way. Because I think it was in the a book somewhere, an eye for an eye.
Yeah.
You know, you hurt somebody of mine, there's not a legal system in this world going to keep you from me. But I will protect what's mine. And this law tells me I can protect what's mine. Our job as citizens, as parents, as leaders, is to make an adjustment in the way we think. And until we do that as a nation, as a state, as a city, and as a parish, we're going to be right back here 10 years from now saying the same thing. So I put it to everybody in this audience. I respect you guys. I respect this panel, but we need to do something and do it quick. Thank you.
Commissioner Johnson.
Call for the question.
Okay. Need a second?
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Johnson, second by Commissioner Dominic. Call for the question. Vote. passes. Now we need to vote on the original resolution.
What we doing now?
Vote on the original resolution.
Wake up, man.
I'm confused.
I can't believe some of the stuff I just heard of.
We're on the original motion now.
Original motion.
That
Mr. Bowman.
fails.
Bowman voted against it?
That fails. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Resolution number 48 of 2013, request the Metropolitan Planning Commission to review and to recommend appropriate amendments to the future land use policy map prior to the adoption of the Shreveport County Unified Development Code.
So move.
Moved by Commissioner Epperson,
Second.
second by Commissioner Johnson. Is there any discussion? None, please vote. That passes, yes.
And they made I pressed one thing and came up something else, but they're correcting.
Okay.
I had no on that last one.
Okay.
Okay.
Would that have made a difference?
No.
No mean no?
Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Next, we move to new business, confirmation of reappointment of Mr. Larry Ferdinand to the Industrial Development Board.
So moved. I'd like to englobo those three confirmations.
Second.
Do all four.
All four of them.
All four?
Yes. Moved by the chair, second by Commissioner Epperson to englobo those four reappointments. Is there any discussion? None, please vote. That passes. Commissioner Epperson?
Okay.
Yeah, you wanted to speak
Oh, it's
before we
consent
adjourn.
time?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
No,
done.
it's time to go. It's time for you.
We're done.
You say you want to
Okay.
speak.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Time to go.
I'd like to recognize the town of Greenwood on August the 19th at their regular town council meeting.
Oh, no.
Be careful.
I'd like to recognize the town of Greenwood, approved resolution number 15 of 2013 that was supporting the cooperative endeavor that we're engaging in for the General Motors plant. And that vote was unanimous by the town council, the town of Greenwood, in support of it.
Next item?
Oh, that's next week.
Oh, that's it?
What do you think?
All right.
I'm gonna run the house, get your wife, and I'll be back.
Okay, I will.
Jim,
You gonna make it?
it never showed up, it didn't show up.